So you are most welcome to AIN. It would be nice for us. We've been saying we are sisters, and someone will be wondering, like, how are you sisters? You said you are from Ghana. You said you are Zimbabwe. I don't know if you're Zimbabwean or you have a Zimbabwean background. I don't want to go into, but you have. Yes. So how did we become sisters? Because we see ourselves as sisters. And we have some of our sisters who are not here though, but we are here now. How come we are sisters? And from there we can also talk about the paper we wrote together as sisters. Anyone wants to start?
Yeah, I can start and then you can add up to it. So we call ourselves sisters. For me, I can say that I'm one of the latter sisters who joined the sisterhood. The youngest, the baby, the last born. I always tell myself that because when I came to the Netherlands, specifically University of Amsterdam, I came to meet my sisters here. And when I arrived, I think I only met Dr. Amisa, and then I think Linda was also about to leave for the fieldwork or something. I didn't meet all the sisters, but I met one or few. I call them sisters because we had something similar. That's what the background of our sisterhood is. We're all black. Okay. We're all black African scholars. That's coming from different parts of Africa. Yes, you can be chocolate, brown, golden, but we're all coming from Africa. It's just that because of colonialism and whatever it is, we're partitioned with boundaries. So we are now coming from different locations in Africa. So coming to meet them here, I felt like, okay, there is something I can connect with them. I can say that they are also from Africa. And they are also people who are here to learn as scholars and learned, so I can link myself with them. I came, I met them, and then as a big university and being at the same department with different supervisors, we will sometimes just meet, bump into each other somewhere, and then like the coffee machine was mostly our place of meeting, going to grab coffee. For me, I'm a pure Ghanaian, so I don't drink coffee. So I'm always trying to see. I don't even have a cup. I'm still trying to adapt, but still I can't do it. So I'll just be there trying to get maybe some hot warm water or tea, and then they'll come and meet me, and then they'll ask how I am because I was new. I needed to know more about the system, so the few that I met, I'll talk to them. Sometimes during our break time at the kitchen, we'll meet them and then we'll have a chit chat, and they're like, okay, I think it's really good to get to know people who can give you some information and give you some assurance that you can also fit here, because in the system that we are in there, you could tell we are outside from our context. So we have just few of us. So the few people that you meet, you want to get closer to them. So that was how I got closer to my sisters. And then with time, maybe they can pick it up from there, because then we have to form a group where we can strengthen each other, we can check on each other and make sure, hey lady, do the right thing, sister, don't disgrace us, you have to present us, So that was how we're trying to, support each other. So through that, I think that I'll leave to the big sisters, because I came to join later, and then I can talk when and how I also joined the
I
sisterhood.
want to say something. So you're from Ghana, but you didn't know me in Ghana.
No, I never met.
So how do you feel when you meet someone's like, I know someone from Kenya, and her name is Linda, and you are like, I don't know the person, because for me, like, I've met a lot of people, like sometimes they see me and they are like, I know someone from Namibia, her name is, and I'm like, well, I'm from Ghana, and in Ghana, I don't know everyone. Yes, okay, that was just by the way, yes.
I think just from your comments, I can just say that I relate a little bit, but not maybe in a different way, because how I was even introduced to the African sisters, and was how when I joined in July, and I think at that time a lot of Africans. So when I reached here, the PhD representative of that time, who was like welcoming me, she said like something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry because you just reached the time where a big group of
Africans.
yeah, they're on the field, like the people I look like maybe
You can connect with.
you guys were on the field, but she's like, but that's not a problem because I can link you with them on email. So she actually tried to connect me, sending an email to that group, but unfortunately nobody replied.
No, you didn't write to me.
I didn't know it.
No, actually, I was not part of the group. So.
You were not. But when I wrote and nobody responded, but maybe I don't know what.
They were busy on the field.
And then I continuously came here and I was just alone because the department was empty. I didn't even know what to do because it's vacation time, it's summertime in July and all that. And it's like, should I stay home? I was really quite a little bit lost. And I remember one day that Amisa was around and then she just came, she's like, you knew? And that's how we started talking. And she was at least in the black community.
She was as black as you are.
She was the first person I met.
Nice.
And later on, when the rest of the team came from fieldwork, it became like natural. We could relate, we could talk, and I think one thing that connected us maybe was the fact that, I mean, it's one thing that for us we see we are connected, but it's also something that everyone also see or think that you should just
Connect
you
with your people.
It's another validation.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, I know and I understand, but you're also saying that you should. There's something, I don't know, I'm maybe messing things up, but yeah, thank you.
I also agree with you with that point. I think that in a way the sisterhood is imposed, or is because I also had the same experience to say, like the moment you just come, I don't know, maybe it's the natural thing. It's just like the moment you just come. For me, I was told, oh, there's this Ghanaian, she's really nice. Her name is Amisa. You meet her, and not another person.
It's like they are saying not any other person.
But I also feel because they see us as minority,
Yeah.
So they see like you are just little, so maybe you should connect together and then feel a little safe, create that
I think
community
it's
for
a natural
yourself.
thing. It's just like now
Positive.
if a person from South Africa comes, right? People, they'll be like, oh, there's Linda here.
Yeah.
So they will come to me and not to Yvette, right?
Yeah.
Because people will just feel like there's something that connects you. So I think it's a natural kind of thing. So it's at different levels. The same way you met a Zimbabwean, you're like, Linda. No. I'm like, no.
Because she was like, I've
there are
been in the
60 million
NGO
Zimbabweans.
field. No, like she was, I've been in the NGO field, I've been in Netherlands, and I've met a lot of Zimbabweans, but this and I was like, wow, NGO Zimbabwean academic now, you should know that.
Yeah. I mean, so it makes sense in a way to say. So I think it's a way of even, I don't know, for the institution or whoever is doing it, so that you also feel like comfortable.
And don't feel like you are alone.
You are alone. And to be honest, you do feel like that, because you do feel like, at least I have, just looking at you, I know we don't speak the same language, but just looking at you, in a way I feel like, yeah, I'm not alone. I have someone who understands me, we have different foods and whatever, but they are almost related. So for me, I think that came naturally, because I remember at some point I was also late in my group, so I think most of my...
You are not late.
Okay, compared to my cohort, I came later, and Yvette was the one who was there. And I remember when I came, you guys, my supervisor invited you, you remember? And you came to the house, and and it was really nice to have such a welcome.
Yes, I remember.
It's really nice to have such a welcome, because you are all confused, you don't even, and then just to meet someone from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from Ghana, I think it was really beautiful. But I must say as well, for me, at some point, like when everyone else had left, I don't know which period was that I felt so lonely. Like I just wanted to see a black person. I'm telling you, like that time I was attending lectures and I'll be the only black person. And I remember we were reading Frantz Fanon, and everyone in the would be looking at me like, say something. Me, I'm like, I don't also understand you. You know, like everything.
Frantz Fanon is your best. You should understand it.
And like me, I'm also struggling with this. But then people would also be looking at you to say, okay, so what are you saying? So I think it's yeah, I mean, when you talk about such sensitive issues about racism and whatever, and you are standing alone, at times you really feel it. And that's where they say there's power in numbers now when you have also someone else to be talking about these things, because you just feel like all eyes are on you, you know? And so that's one. And then the other experience for me, that time when I was feeling lonely, because even when I'm in the elevator, I'll just be the only black person at that time. And then you get into the classroom. I don't know which class was it, but I was the only one, right? And even when I go home where we were living, but there were also other migrants. But for some reason, I wouldn't see migrants from other European countries. I wouldn't see them as migrants. I don't know. And then this is one thing that happened. I think I've shared that story to me, that I was now in the lift and then I was carrying my baby, and then this girl came to me and then she says she is mixed race, and then she says, oh wow, the way you are carrying your child, my mom used to make me carry my doll like that. And I'm like, really, where is your mom from? And then she says, Zimbabwe. Guys, you have no idea how I felt. Like I just wanted to hug you, like I was missing someone who I can relate to. And I'm like, oh really, I'm also from Zimbabwe. And then she started giving me a disclaimer to say, but you know, I don't speak English. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm just happy to see you. So I think in as much as it is imposed, for me it was also a need. Yes, exactly. Just, you know, to be meeting someone who you feel that maybe they understand me. They understand you, that's another question. We understand each other. But someone who looks like you, I think it comes naturally.
But I also think, like, as you're saying, well, yes, like as I was sharing my journey, how I came to be introduced to my sisters, but I later stage, like sticking together, doing things together, became a choice, because we deliberately choose to do so, to be having time where we would just host each other.
Becoming soon.
Because I don't cook, but yeah. so yeah, and that became also our time for conviviality, where we really feel like
that's a big term. I'm telling you.
When I see the academians are coming, the professors are here. Yes, thank you.
No, it just.
Mama, I know you are theorizing.
I just take few words that I remember. I'm from Rwanda. I speak in Rwanda, and
you are now theorizing.
I'm telling you.
I am a French. I have been.
Now she's French. Me too. I'm Ghanaian. Thank you. I speak English. Thank you. I don't speak English.
But Yvette is raising a point, because if you look at it, there were many black people here. So for me, it's like, how did you become? Because not every black person became a sister or join us, right? Mm-hmm. So what was how what was the connection? I'm curious to know.
Maybe before we go to that, I missed something. I was very privileged to be welcomed by Amisa, you know, because even though I did not know her before I was coming, I got a mail from my supervisor. Like, I have one Ghanaian student and you're also a Ghanaian, so maybe she connects with her. And then, all right, okay. So I think I sent an email to her, okay, I'm Ghanaian, this. And yeah, very interesting.
You got a response?
I did. She did.
No,
but later I asked her certain things and she was very general, like, really? She did respond.
I didn't get it.
She responded, I think, immediately when I sent it. I think that she's very good at that.
Amisa,
so
and
she
I
responded.
think you oriented a lot of people.
Yeah. She responded to it immediately, but I was asking, like, what should I do? What should I bring? She's like, yeah, that's okay. It depends. You know, the independent statement, like, I want specifics. Tell me what I should do. What should I bring? What should I like? Okay, thank you. But what I'm very grateful for was that even at the time that she was coming to welcome me, she was 9 months pregnant. She was almost due to give birth, but she was at the airport to take me to my home, a home that I didn't know. They took me there. They took me out to go and shop, to just, show me around, familiarize, because you can imagine you don't know your supervisor. You've had a chat, you've had a Zoom call with a person to come and pick you. But then to also have someone you could easily connect, you can say something in your language with, to come and pick you. That was something that really, brought me close. And from that day, I always call her mommy. It's like a mother or a sister, and I knew she had a child. So that is something I'm very grateful, and I can never forget that. You have to be grateful for that, and I've always been grateful for that she did for me. And maybe what connected us, I think we have been saying that along our discussion. I think the things that we went through, we all experienced it, the experiences, the anxieties and the challenges. I think sometimes if you don't speak out or you don't say something, you don't know what the other person is going through. But when one person is able to voice it out, it's like, okay, I'm not the only one. Maybe I can also see what I'm also going through. Maybe. So those of us who were very open, I think that's one thing we should acknowledge. If you are not very open and you don't have that trust to be able to fill that, I don't know the word, to fill the space, the safe space to talk about something, you are not able to connect to somebody. So I think at a time we're all going through certain things at a particular time. So when one person opens up, it's like, okay, maybe when I also say this, we should find a way of how we can solve or have a strategy or tactics to deal with that problem. So for me, I was one of the baby last, like I said, I came in 2017, 2018 academic year. So already they were here and they have gone through some experiences. And because I was connected to the sisters and Amisa, when I chat, like, yeah, you're not the only person, it's like this, but you have to find a way of doing this, you have to do this. So I saw, okay, maybe I need to get more closer. And then she's like, okay, we are trying to, because we are all back from field work, we want to support each other to see how best we can go through the process of writing and discussing and going through. So we have formed a group, we want to support each other and then, be there for each other. I said, okay, maybe I can join, but at this time I feel like I don't belong there because I've not yet been to the field. I don't know what I can also bring on board. So let me just stay behind. As a sister, I can talk to them. I meet them at the office. Yvette, Dr. Ruzibiza, became my roommate. Like, we're always there. She always travel. I'm going to party. I'm going there. I'm going there. And then it got to a time like, no, I'm not traveling again. I'm done with traveling. I'm here 24 hours. We have to get this thing done. Okay. So that's how, we got there. And then later, when I also went to the field work, I came back. Then I also saw the real struggle. Then I was put on board. And then I felt like, okay, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to share.
You have to be baptized to be a sister.
I am already a sister.
I find it interesting because there was also a process for admitting.
Okay, you see?
Which is very interesting because you remember when I think there was a point I suggested it to say, and I don't know who in the group to say, someone said no, she won't benefit from this because we are far beyond. So now as we are talking now, I'm thinking like, okay, so what is, and the criteria as you are saying is, I think we had gone through similar experiences to the point that because we felt so safe to say I can just share it on that group, and because you feel so safe at some point you feel like you just wanted to safeguard. I think like it became a very safe. I know that I can say things on this group and it's safe and I get the support and whatever. So I think it just happened, not that we planned it, but even the way we're now sort of admitting people, it was what's the word? Like it's not planned, but
yes, I think we also wanted people we trusted, people who we could speak to and they will understand our struggle, or even if they don't understand, they are able to listen and support us, because that was a space. So our group was. And it's right that is. So I'm wondering if we are still writing that thesis.
I'm still writing.
it just occurred to me, I'm like, we still have the right that thesis. Are we still writing this thesis? But yes, some of our sisters are still writing, and perhaps that's the reason it's still like that, but we haven't consciously thought about it.
Yeah.
But for me, it was, and it's still like, it means a lot to me to be part of that group. And I don't remember the story of how we became sisters, but I remember like, I can also like you saying how I came to meet you. I don't even remember like the whole story behind, but you saying it got me very emotional. And I think I have that emotional attachment with each person, an experience, a love, a comfort, a story that someone shared with me that is still sticking with me now. And I'm like, this person trusts me. This person understands me. This person loves me. This person cares for me. Because they've been, it's not like I don't know, I know many people, but there are some, I can share some stories and cry, or that I don't cry as much as and cry with some of you.
She doesn't cry anymore.
She's a postdoc.
Ever since she became doctor.
Okay.
And so
I'm an adult.
and for me, that's when I felt like these are my sisters, because they do understand me. And even when I don't like to be judged, but even when I'm judged, which hardly occurs, but there are a few times that happens. I mean, it's sisterhood, so it's good, it's bad. When it happens, I also feel like it's coming from, maybe at that moment I become angry, but I also feel like it's coming out of love, out of concern, and out of care. And so I've always felt like this is my sisterhood, and maybe that's why we wanted to really protect it. Like, we want people we can trust, we want people who understand us, we want people who can really be supportive and not make us feel stupid, feel useless, feel all those kind of things. And it's been a beautiful experience, and I still write that thesis, but I think I'm not writing the thesis, and I'm not going to write any thesis. I'm glad that you guys want to still do a PhD, but trust me, I've enjoyed my PhD journey. I'm done.
You are doing a postdoc?
Yes, postdoc. I move on to the next level, but it was so, yes, I mean, this has been a beautiful sisterhood.
Yeah, I like drawing a lot from what other people have said, and maybe it's my way of learning and listening and paying attention. But in what Dilys was saying, she mentioned something that actually helped her, like not necessarily helped her, but it was one of the things that helped her, for instance, connect with you, the language, shared language. I am from a country where I don't share any language with all of you, but I could connect. The Africanness. That's the thing. That's what I want to share. The Africanness was what connected us. Like there was, for me, there was shared experience. There was things I could tell you, and I know you understand me more than what my other friend, because I have other friends. Remember, we had like, for instance, if I go to each one personally and think how I connected with that person, we could sit and talk for hours. Right? We are like, how about this? And we are not even speaking the same language. My English was sometimes difficult.
Your English is honestly. Your English is very good. If I could speak French as good as
like this,
it was coming from my toes, and I'm like, but Linda, do you understand what I'm saying? And then she'd be like, yeah, and then we would exchange. And that's actually how we even moved from normal conversation, normal like everyday life, and even extend that to theories. And as we could theorize from Africa, we could we have the way of seeing or interpreting our field, and then we were venting like most of the time if we were misunderstood. It's like, no, this is what.
But it's interesting though. This one kept on saying, hey, you Zimbabweans. She made it seem like I'm coming from, I don't know, Mars. Is this what you do, Zimbabweans? You Zimbabweans. She's always saying, you Zimbabweans, you do that. You Zimbabweans.
Should I say when I use you Zimbabwe, the story you'll be telling me? Think about witchcraft. I'm sorry.
It should just
should be
African. African.
Are you really part of us? You sure you're part of us?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but it's interesting how, but so for me, you're my sister by choice. Not necessarily because we have the same language, but we have a lot that connects us, and I'm thankful for having you and being able to exchange, challenge, discuss. And I also remember when I experienced this sisterhood. I was the only one who's single, I think. Right? Yeah, I'm not mistaken. And I also connected with some of your daughters.
My daughter's best friend.
Yeah, so I felt privileged for also, I love kids, and I felt privileged when I could also be invited at your home and meet your kids. Although some of the time was not so much following up on birthdays, and then I would see messages about birthday, and I'm like, oh, I'm left out. And yes, but yeah, those are the great memories about this sisterhood.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much, sisters. It's very great to have you here. I'm